Maybe it's time to go back to the beginning, back to a simpler time where the daily and active pursuit was just to hit the stage, be at the centerfold, limelight, camera, action. But I mean, after all, we're here because of that, right? For those that know me, I am a musician. For those that don't know me, I'm the very hat you need me to be. Do I have a beef with the multifaceted outlook, outprint, interdisciplinary notion that I've presented myself as? I think sometimes. Am I hard on myself for it? Not anymore. There was a time where I just wished it could have just made sense with the music and that it remained that I blew up before the age of 26 as a sensational R&B alternative artist from South Africa. Oh my gosh, have you heard him right? Oh my gosh. Wow, prolific. The way he blends his vernacular language, Setswana, and he brings in an aspect of obscurity to the front hold. Most people say, is he really South African? Dude, I thought you were homie from the States. Some of the compliments I've heard. Whether that's a compliment or not, it's neither here nor there. I also live in South Africa, so the reality of being an independent artist ain't so gravy. Bear in mind, I'm a sound engineer as well, by profession, right? To a point where I actually became a lecturer, and not a junior lecturer, a senior lecturer. Not only just for one institution, if maybe you thought it was a favoritism thing, I actually went and gone and did it at another institution, and still remaining as me, you know, young sir, yo, Sui, I try to be as practical as I could be and show the kids, more importantly, that your dreams are still valid. I didn't want to be that has been lecturer who is now teaching because they couldn't dance, is teaching because they couldn't sing, teaching because they couldn't paint, coaching because they couldn't run, score, etc., etc. I wanted to show them that this is a bag and I'm actively present because I was. Am I today? Not as much as I'd like to. I think the reality kicks in along the way and we grow up, and it's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, hey, dude, I sat in front of the class, I picked up all the knowledge, I registered the record label, I literally got involved in all possible, what do they call them? Music royalty collection institutions. Forgot the actual term, but man, I put in the hours, bro. I really put in the hours. I perfected my writing. I took in the extra hours to get my voice aligned. Picking up instrumentation. Maybe not as much as I could have, but I really became a student of the game. And time again, I found myself being a broke artist. And lucky for me, I had radio. Lucky for me, I had lecturing. Lucky for me, I had writing. So I was always active in the industry, not primarily as a musician, but moving as a media journalist, moving as a brand, moving as someone that could make things happen. Dude, I was putting on people that were in a better position as far as the music industry is concerned than I was at the time. But shouldn't I be given the opportunity? And then I started realizing that maybe I'm a stakeholder in this thing and I just didn't realize it, because you start buying into the idea that this thing is gate kept and you want to sign, but the deal ain't worth it. And you sort of kind of start betting more on your independent nature, and you lack the foresight to maybe sign the deal, because there is a place for that. Being independent is also overplayed. It's like, dude, MT was right. The budget to shoot a music video is insane. And I also do feel like this creative ecosystem really is unfair to the musicians. The musician is the one that has to produce the budget. The musician is the one that has to make sure that the band is taken care of. Never mind their brand equity, never mind what they have done to get to this very point. They gotta pay. Because, hey, you're the star, right? You're the one that's gonna get the fame and the glory and the big bang. But are you? Are you gonna get that? And so these are some of the things that start like circulating, and you try all options, and dude, in every scenario you show up. You show up to a game that is not ready for you. You show up to a game that doesn't need you. You show up to a game that wants you but acts like you don't have that value. These are some of the undertakings and the learnings that one has to, pass through. Jiggy jiggy, you're like, you know what? Maybe the limitation is South Africa. Maybe I should try myself elsewhere. Pack my bag and set ship, set sail. And you start encountering people that have a better appreciation for you. And you're like, let me make a move to Cape Town. People say I am coastal after all. And you make the move. And the move makes sense. And then the reality of life kicks in. Damn, rent is expensive. I'm actually a better talent than I was back then, but now I'm far away from the industry that helped me become. But I love who I am here, so what happens next? You make the music. People appreciate it. You get your check, comes in. 0.0001 for every stream. You can't eat from that. The reality kicks back in again. I gotta get a job. Lucky for me, I've got skill set in the industry. So it doesn't feel like a 9 to 5. It just feels like I'm still fly. I'm in the boardrooms, but hey, I'm a creative director. Hey, campaigns. We're out here. But the reality is, perhaps in another timeline, I would have just appreciated being a musician. Finish and clap. I got it. Not to say that I don't appreciate what I got going on right now. Trust and believe, this thing has its own way of circulating back. I say this to say, there is new music coming out. And I think a lot of it has to do with not being able to tell a new story. I've obviously went through a lot in the last 4 years. And it's relationships on one end, it's rejection from the industry, it's being broke in of itself, it's changing cities, there's so many other things, and then of course there was a whole entire thing called COVID and the lockdown. So being broken consistently and losing your conviction in your craft and doubting yourself time and time again adds to the bravery that you once had as an artist, just the ability to pursue yourself without any turn around and asking, do you think this is okay? Do you think they're gonna like this? So I finally get back to a position in my life where I'm creating for me. I'm creating the story that I want to share. And I think this next project is the essence of that. It has allowed me to close a loop where seeking validation as an artist is such a big problem in this space. You have to tick the box for the label, you have to tick the box for your friends, for the audience. My very first record I wrote, I was told that there wasn't enough commercial viability, that it wasn't top 40 enough, or it wasn't female friendly enough. Dude, I'm an R&B artist. How unfemale friendly is my music? You know? And I just realized it's the system. And I think the thing that broke my heart is that I worked for the system. And I still do. In actual fact, I'm building my own system right now. And so it's crazy that I'm in this position now today. But I also understand that life has its interesting ways of showing you who you truly are. So at least now, without the pressures of the money, without the pressures of fame and all this other social status checkpoints and media junkets that I often and almost all the time attended while my fridge was fairly empty, I now get to choose what I want to create. Thank God to the internet. That's what Ricky Rick spoke about. You know, he said we have the power. And it's not so much on the power to shape the world and, you know, all that stuff. It's the simple power to press the record button and make a song that you like and share that with your people. If they're your fans, friends, or family, who gives an F? But alas, guys, Love Tales from the Loop is the next venture. I'm still trying to workshop the roll-up for this. And perhaps you guys might be able to receive me again as a musician. I hope so. I hope you find relatability in what I have to share. Like always, I have a story to tell. So, that being said, Stagnot, my friend. Stagnot.